Hello, everybody. Right, I'm here with Lea Murphy, who is lead singer with a band called Emeline. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you very much. Thanks for agreeing to do the interview.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Do you want to start by telling us a bit about yourself and the band, how you formed and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so me and the guitarist Reagan, we go to City College, Plymouth, and we met a couple of years ago now on the same course. And he's kind of one of two people that I've met, I think, in my life that have the similar kind of taste. Kind of, John Frusciante from the Chili Peppers.
Right.
I literally only know like two people that really like him and his solo work. So that's kind of how we bonded. And so we met there. I think we were writing for about 6 months before we found Jazz. He was already in a band with Jazz. She's our drummer. And then they disbanded and she kind of came into our band. So that's kind of how we formed. In terms of bass players, we've kind of had a couple and been very on off with them, but we're kind of the core.
Are you all based around the college then, or the university?
Jazz goes to DBS, so she does production, and we do like performance, like music practitioner.
Okay. Right, brilliant. I know you recently sent me, or a little while back, should I say, 2 tracks you did. Was it Adore and Faces?
Yes.
Yeah, and I've got them on, I think, on one of the shows I've done already. But I'll be asking you in a bit for any songs you want to put up to go with this interview. So have a think. Yeah, so lockdown. How's it affected you and your band, sort of the whole process?
Yeah, well, we were actually recording an EP just before the lockdown at DBS, because obviously Jazz gets access to the studio there.
Right.
And it's amazing facilities there, brilliant equipment, better than what we could have had access to at the time, with our own equipment and that kind of thing. So yeah, we were actually in the middle of recording this EP after kind of, gigging non-stop for a year straight. I think we got about three drum tracks down, so we were really in the process. So obviously lockdown hit, and then we were like, oh no, what are we going to do? So I kind of just came up with the idea that we'd just record an acoustic EP. We've all got the equipment in our own homes.
Right.
And, actually it's fared us quite well. We kind of managed to somehow, in those circumstances, still keep going. Right. So, yeah.
So it's the collaboration online type scenario, was it?
Yeah, very much so. And our producer, Oren Ford, as well. It was all very much like no one was ever in the same room at the same time, obviously. Yeah. So recording was there were lots of variables kind of involved. It was sort of sending demos back and forth to Oren. It was all done completely online, which was so strange, but we managed it.
Brilliant. So with the sort of the loosening of the lockdown, what's Plymouth like for live music now? How's it working?
I think the underground is staying open. I think that's turned into a bit of it was a speakeasy for a little bit, and now I think they've got tape down, so they've got like different sections, and only 6 of you can like go in that section.
Right.
We haven't personally. We actually had a gig scheduled for September with Smile More and Peace Lily, bands from Bristol were coming down, but we decided to reschedule because of the circumstances. But I do know that Underground is still open. I think Junction's just shut again.
Right.
So it's it's not great.
So as far as your band then, are you looking to the future? What kind of have you got any sort of gigs in the pipeline?
Well, we had a lot obviously before the lockdown kind of planned out, because we thought, right, we're going to release this EP. We had a whole kind of release plan, and we're going to do these gigs. But yeah, the bands that I think we will reschedule. You know, have a sort of a date soonish for the Smile More and Peace Lily gig, and friends of ours as well, Pile and Poets. We gigged with them a lot. And so we're still networking, like we're still in contact with those people for those
Right.
gigs to be rescheduled as soon as we can, really. But it's kind of, we want to make sure everyone feels comfortable.
Right. So personally for you, the lockdown, was it musically for you a positive thing, or was it just a complete, nightmare?
For me, it was quite positive, because I also I released a solo song as well, which I wasn't going to do. I had no plans of that whatsoever.
Right.
It was just work that I used for my uni portfolio.
Okay.
And so I just kind of was bored and wanted something to do. So I just, I released that as well as working on REP. So really, I think I managed to turn it into a positive experience. I was always kind of doing something, but different people deal with things differently. And I think for me personally, I do just like to keep going and keep being busy.
Ah, brilliant. Yes, yeah. So the new EP that is it an EP you're working on, you said, or it's an EP?
No, it's REP that we've released, in September.
Okay. Right, I've got you. Yeah, and you're working on something again now. Is that what happening? What you're doing?
Yeah, we're working on an album at the minute.
Okay. So, any ideas of a sort of a release sort of time? I know it's difficult to think about, but
yeah, we're thinking kind of May sort of time-ish. We want everything to be done. Jazz is actually using it for her honours project at uni, so we will have to have it done by that time. So we are thinking May, sort of June next year.
Okay. So how, for people who haven't actually heard you, how would you describe your music?
Acoustically, as in on the acoustic EP, obviously it's a completely different sound to us live. I would say that is kind of more indie pop kind of sound. The way it's produced is very commercial. Our live sound is a bit darker, a bit heavier, but quite melodic at the same time. And I think that's kind of what we're going for with the album. But yeah, the acoustic stuff, very kind of indie, very accessible, I would say.
Okay. So if people wanted to find out and listen to your music, what platforms are you on?
Facebook, it's just Emeline Band. Instagram, it's at We Are Emeline. Is that all that's it. Facebook and Instagram, and also on Spotify. RAP is a door.
Okay, and you've got nothing on YouTube, or maybe just a couple of tracks, is it? Or
yeah, the whole EP as well should be on YouTube.
Well, I'll try and put a link up for the whole EP, if that's all right. And tag it on this one. Yeah. Okay. Right. Random question time. Okay. If you, I've asked this actually a couple of times to different bands. If you had the choice of opening up for any band that's either been or is around now, who would you choose?
I think collectively we would all have to say Deftones. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliantly. Yeah. And personally, if you solo wise.
Personally, at the minute, Annie DeFranco.
Okay. It's not somebody I've heard of, but
no, she's quite famous. 90s singer.
Modern, is it, or?
No, she's a 90s singer kind of thing. She's a bit under the radar though.
Right. Okay. All right. Basically, like I said on the beginning to you, you'll go on the YouTube thing for West Kerno Sounds. There's a section called Over the Bridge. And any viewers that want to listen to music that is sort of outside of Cornwall, that's where they'll find it. Okay. So that's where you guys will go, being Plymouth based. What 2 tracks would you like me to link to this interview then?
I'd say Adore and Faces.
Okay. So I'll
Yeah.
find them I'll find them and tag them on them. Right. Final question is probably a random one, but I do ask every single artist or band,
Okay.
and I've done for the last 2 years, and it's basically, is there anybody you'd like to thank personally for you being here musically now?
I think outside of the band, I would thank Oren Ford, who is our producer. And he was also in my first band with me. I've written with him over the years. We've done a lot together, and he's kind of always had massive faith in me and helped me move forward. So I think it would be him.
Superb. Lea, look, thank you so much for giving me the time for the interview.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with, your album and any future plans.
Thank you so much.
All right. You take care. See you later.
You too. Bye.
Bye.